This is Naveen Krishna Prabhuji to give us an ecstatic Bhagavatam class. Prabhuji, are you there on the call?
Hare Krishna, Priya Samaha, Buddha Sisters, all the Prabhupada, all glories to all the devotees on the call.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Please take over the call.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Sarasati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirat Nashpreshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we have a new chapter we're starting. Chapter 33, activities, entitled as Activities of Lord Kapila. Text 1, third canto. Maitreya vacha evam nisham miyaha kapilasya vacho janitri sadkadamasya daita killa devahutihi vishastamoha pratalahatam abhipranmaya tastava tattva vishayankitaha siddhi bhumim. Maitreya uvacha evam nishamya kapilasya vacho janitri saha karadamasya daita kila devahutihi vishashtamoha pratalatam abhipranamya tushuštava tattva vishayankita vidhi bhumim. Translation, word by word. Maitreya uvacha, Maitreya said, evam, thus, nishamya, having heard, kapilasya, of Lord Kapila, vachaha, the words, janitri, the mother, sa, she, kardamasya, of Kardama Muni, daita, the dear wife, kila, namely, devahuti, vishashta, freed from, moha patala, the covering of illusion, tam, unto him, abhipranamya, having offered obeisances, tushtava, recited prayers, tattva, basic principles, vishaya, in the matter of ankit, the author, siddhi, of liberation, bhumim, the background. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Maitreya said, thus Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila and wife of Kardama Muni, became freed from all ignorance concerning devotional service and transcendental knowledge. She offered her obeisances unto the Lord, the author of the basic principles of the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is the background of liberation, and she satisfied him with the following verses of prayer. Purport. The system of philosophy enunciated by Lord Kapila before his mother is the background for situation on the spiritual platform. The specific significance of this system of philosophy is stated herein as Siddhi Bhumim. It is the background of salvation. People who are suffering in this material world because they are conditioned by the material energy can easily get freedom from the clutches of matter by understanding the Sankhya philosophy enunciated by Lord Kapila. By this system of philosophy, one can immediately become free, even though one is situated in this material world. That stage is called Jivan Mukti. This means that one is liberated even though one stays with his material body. That happened for Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila, and she therefore satisfied the Lord by offering her prayers. Anyone who understands the basic principle of Sankhya philosophy is elevated in devotional service and becomes fully conscious or liberated even within this material world. Om Ajnana Timirasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sajajatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sacha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Keshabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarabhyasya cha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I'm clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I was saying that in this 33rd chapter, after being glorified by Devahuti, Lord Kapila departs to the forest now. And the mission of Lord Kapila was achieved. So when we try to analyze the previous chapter as well, I would just like, in connection with this one, I always relate the last few verses for the pleasure of the devotees. It's always good to understand the benefit of listening to this chapter. So these teachings that before at the last part of the last few verses of the previous chapter, Lord Kapila guard us about the teaching about his teachings, and he specifically mentions that these teachings, one should have some qualification to understand these teachings. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, what is the qualification of Arjuna to listen to the Bhagavad Gita? The basic qualification of anybody, to listen to the Bhagavad Gita, at least one should have some faith. So Kapil Muni show that those who are not qualified for these teachings are basically people attempt to understand things for some self-realization purposes, but for other purposes, So in the verse 39 for the previous chapter, Kapil Muni explicitly, if I may refer just to 39, let me refer to that verse. Lord Kapil Muni says specifically that this word that is being used in Sanskrit, na stabdhaya na bhinaya neva dharma bhajacchaha. So bhinaya are the people who misbehave, and the word that's being used for such people, for this misutilization of the knowledge, is dharma dhvajaya. And these are hypocrites. These, and it's specifically mentioned that Srila Prabhupada, when he translates the verse, Srila Prabhupada say that, nor is it for the hypocrites or for persons who are proud of material possessions. This knowledge is not meant for them. This knowledge is not meant, and later further in the text 40, it says, there is abhaktya, the non-devotee. Anabhaktya na me jatu na bhakta dvisham api. No to persons who are non-devotees, and no to people who are envious of devotees and Krishna. So this knowledge is not meant for them. So we can understand that, because I remember last week when I was giving that class, I said I'll talk a little bit about this. So that's why I'm covering this. So people have some harmful purpose. Some people use this knowledge to harm, or to promote themselves. The harming, I mean the exploitation of the masses by posing for false bhakti. And some people, they don't behave properly. They are so proud of the knowledge, of the background. And other people have different type of opinions and are not fixed in the principles of dharma, and basically want to utilize dharma for material gain and fame. When I was in Haridwar for a long time back, and we used to preach on Hakipuri, where the Ganges, there's a base is there where you can hold the chain and then worship the Ganga, because the flow of the water is so strong that you get carried out. So that's why they have this Sakipuri Ghat. And around that place, there are so many different ashram and mutts. Once I was there during the Kumbh Mela, and in the Kumbh Mela, which there was specific time for the bath, because the nectar is manifested at that particular time. So they will get all these different mats, all these different religious bodies with their leaders. They come there, and there is one specific group called Naga Baba. They are the only one that are allowed to take the bath first. So the Naga Babas, they are completely naked people. Usually they bathe into the ashes of Lord Shiva, and they have practices which is completely obsolete. There's no parampara, bona fide parampara, so their practices also are really not at all bona fide. And they are allowed to take the bath first, and then all the mats go and follow. So when I was staying there, then I got a chance to, when I was preaching on the bank of the Ganges, and to meet different types of religious people there, that so-called religious people. Then you came to know so many stories behind all those people, and then all this mob. And although some of them can be very well versed in the Sanskrit and the scripture, but their practices on a practical level, then when it comes to the behavior, it's dharmadvajayi. Yeah, it's not proper according to the dharmic practices as established by the Sanatan Dharma. They claim to be Sanatan Dharmas, Dharmis, but when their behavior is completely like that. So that was one thing I wanted to mention. Although there was one person from America who last year from CNN, he had I forgot his name a bit, but he went there and did a video on Hinduism, and then he went to the Naga Baba, to the wrong people, and just showed, the project the dark side of so-called Hinduism, and then he got that program and he brought it here, and he was planning to show that in the schools all across America. And actually they agreed to, but with the Hindu Foundation and lots of temple federations in the area, we protested against that, and then luckily, fortunately, they didn't show that in the school. And can you imagine if this had been showed in the school, what would other faiths understand about Hinduism? It would be very, very bad. Because they were projecting the Hinduism as offshoots of the Naga Baba. So that was very, very bad. So in this material world, where we are living, there's so many hypocrites, so many perverts in the name of Dharma. So that's why we are being saved. The service that Srila Prabhupada did for this whole world, this is irreplaceable. We can't... there will be no one like Srila Prabhupada, and there had never been somebody who could save us like that, as Srila Prabhupada did, away from those Pakandi. So it's being explained that only through bhakti that one can be saved from these different, especially this desire to enjoy matter. This text 40 says that na lulupayo padishen na griharudha chetashi. So that basically in bhakti we have a natural process of detachment, and Kapil Muni is guarding us that we should not teach his knowledge to those who are extremely attached to material enjoyment, those who are too much attached to family affairs, those who are with that devotion. And it specifically mentioned na madbha bhakta dvishamapi. Namad bhakta dvishamapi is that we should never teach this to those who hate devotees. And that's hate devotees, they envious about devotees. This knowledge should not be taught to them. And then, though one may not have any of the faults or the faults not mentioned, but one is disqualified from the teaching if one is not a good devotee and envious of devotees. So that's why as we chant our rounds, we always say, when we repeat the 9 offenses, the 10 offenses, the 9 offenses, it's an offense to preach the glories of the holy name to a faithless person. So these are the sanctity of this knowledge. It's not like knowledge is meant for everyone, but that's the instruction and the given by Kapil Muni. So it's not coming from us, it's coming from Kapil Muni, that we should respect that. So it say that it should be completely avoided. So it's very serious. If you just imagine if other people, some people cannot be taught, right? Because of such and such reason. But what to speak of people who hate devotees? They won't be able to grasp anything. So it's futile. We should not try to do that. So, and in text 41, then Kaukapin says to whom we should teach this knowledge. Shradhadhanjaya bhaktya vinityanasya veve bhuteshu kirtametraya shushrabhiratasya cha. So one should teach this knowledge to the devotees who have faith, those who have proper conduct, like a gentleman, to those who have no hate for other living entities, and those who are very friendly to everyone, who has this desire to serve, this eagerness to serve, to those who are like on the path of detachment, and as they are very peaceful in their mind, and to those who are unselfish, and to those who are pure at heart, and to those who are very dear, who consider the Lord as dear as their soul. This knowledge should be taught to them. And Lord Kapila concludes the last chapter by in the last verse say, Ya idam shunyad amba shradhaya purusha shakrit yo vabhidate matchittaha sa eti padavim chame. Then Lord Kapila addresses his mother, saying that the person who hears this topic with faith, and the person who speaks about this topic with faith, the person who concentrates his mind on me, on Kapil Dev, on Krishna, certainly attains the place where the lotus feet of the Lord. So we can see from this last instruction that speaking about the Bhagavatam, hearing about the Bhagavatam, chanting about this topic, fixing the mind, matchitaha, we attain the Padaravindam. We worship the lotus feet of Krishna, and we attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So iti padavim chame. So I wanted to touch a little bit of that before going that, as mentioned before. So coming to the first sloka today, and that being said about bhakti specifically, we can see that one interesting word that Srila Prabhupada used here is Jivan Mukta. So when I was reading Jivan Mukta, one interesting, it made me remember this famous shloka that I used to recite when I was a brahmachari. This from Bhakti Rasana Sindhu, 12187. Iha yasya haredasye karmana manasa gira nikhalasva apavasthasu jivan muktasa uchyate. This is one of the shloka I used to remember. One of the first shlokas I used to remember. Because this is you can relate to that when you do bhakti. So basically it's iha yasya hare dasya. Dasya is a servant, right? We serve. But how are we serving? We are serving with our karmana, our action. We're serving with our manasa gira, with our mind. Gira is words. So a person acting in Krishna consciousness is serving his body, his mind, his intelligence, and his words. He is considered to be Jivan Mukta Sa Uchyate. And Srila Prabhupada uses this word, Jivan Mukti, that even in this material world, Nikalashva Apavashtashu, even he may be engaged in this material world, is considered to be Mukta, liberated. So we can see Srila Prabhupada emphasizes in this chapter about this state of liberation, Jivan Mukti. So where it is, let me read in the purport. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions here, where it is, this stage is called Jivan Mukti. This means that one is liberated even though one stays with his material body. So that happened for Devotee, the mother of Lord Kapila, and she therefore satisfied the Lord by offering her prayers. Anyone who understands the basic principle of Sankhya philosophy is elevated in devotional service and becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated even within this material world. So, iha yasya haridasya karmana manasa gira nikalasa pevasthasu jivan mukta sa uchate. A person acting in the service of Krishna with the body, mind, intelligence, words is liberated. He's going to be a liberated person even within this material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. And Srila Prabhupada elaborates on this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you refer to Chaitanya Charitamrita in one of the purport, Srila Prabhupada explaining about like a devotee is always thinking of how better to serve Krishna. How? Somebody who is in mood of preaching. We're always thinking, how can I preach about the glories of Lord Krishna? How can I broadcast his name? How can I bring the qualities of Krishna throughout the world so that people can understand who Krishna is? So they basically the Nitya Siddhas. The Nitya Siddhas, they are like eternally liberated souls. They have no other business than preaching about Krishna all over the world, according to their ability. Everybody has different abilities. So according to ability, they will preach. Some have ability to write books, they will write literatures about Krishna. Some have the ability to sing nice bhajan, will be singing nice bhajan. Some have the ability to do nice katha, Bhagavad katha, they will do nice katha. So such people are already associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually. And even Narottam Das Thakur says, Nitya Siddha Karimane. In his bhajan, he says, one should not think that because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present 500 years ago only his associates were liberated. Prabhupada mentions like that. Of course, Mahaprabhu comes and with his associates, they are all liberated. Rather, what Narottam Das Thakur is explaining, that anybody who is acting on behalf of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread the glories of the holy name is to be considered like a Nityasiddha. And we should respect these devotees preaching the glories of the Lord as Nityasiddha. I should not consider them conditioned. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, text 26. Mamacha yoga bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunanna samattiyaye tam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who has transcended the material modes of nature is said to be on the Brahman platform. Brahma bhuya kalpate. That is also the platform of Nityasiddha. Srila Prabhupada mentions that Nityasiddha not only stays on the Brahman platform, but also works on that platform. We are not Bhajanandis, we are Ghostanandis, we are practicing devotees. Simply by accepting the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nityasiddha, one can very easily go back home, back to Godhead. So, we should be very careful when we meet Prabhupada disciples. We should not think, oh, this is not my spiritual master, so I don't have to pay obeisances, and I'll not be serious. We don't think that it's an offense. We should pay the same respect as our Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru should be given the same. If we're initiated with one spiritual master, the other spiritual masters are like our Shiksha Guru, and we should pay the same respect in the scripture. It's explained like that. And if somebody is not paying same respect to both the spiritual master and the Shiksha Guru, they are committing a grave offense, and bhakti will not flourish in the heart. And that being said, in Bhagavad Gita, specifically this shloka, Mamacha Vyapcharena Bhakti Yogana Sevate. The people who are preaching in the platform, the devotees deserve the same respect. So we should be very, very careful in our interaction and avoid the offenses of criticizing those such devotees. In the second offense is to blaspheme those devotees who have dedicated their lives in preaching the glories of the holy name, and to consider them as ordinary person. That is the second offense of the holy name. So now we should analyze our lives and see we're chanting Mahamantra every day, and some way or the other we are still the same. Then you understand that we are committing offenses, and these two offenses I explained today mainly. First offense the first one that I talk about is the 9 offense, preaching is knowledge to faithless person, and the second offense that I've been talking about is to consider those devotees who dedicate their lives in preaching the holy name of the Lord to be ordinary people, and to be disrespectful to ourselves. So I'll end here. It's 7:58, so today's a short report, so I'm limiting myself on that, but I touch base almost everything on that chapter, on the verse. Any question and comment are most welcome. Hare Krishna. Haribol? Any question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji here. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
So I was thinking about the Jivan Mukti part.
Jivan Mukti.
So what are the symptoms of those who are liberated, external symptoms, while they are already here? I mean, Srila Prabhupada is one example, and now in this case, Mother Devahudi is also an example. In one case, Prabhupada was spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, and Mother Devahudi, being a woman, was not doing those kinds of things. So I'm just trying to compare and contrast various things of external symptoms of Jivan Mukta.
So the external symptoms, we have 8 external symptoms that physically explain in Chaitanya Charitamrita and other places. The ecstatic symptoms. But just like when Srila Prabhupada was chanting Jai Radha Madhava in one place, I'm forgetting that place where he was chanting, near Lucknow, some place there. If somebody can remind me and correct me on that. And when he was chanting the Jai Radha, all of a sudden he stopped in between. He couldn't go any further. And there's two occasions. This was that, and the second time is when he started. There's another bhajan about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy on the Jivadaya, on the souls. When he chanted that, also his voice was trembling and he couldn't stop. These are ecstatic symptoms. The 8 ecstatic symptoms of a pure devotee. But usually those symptoms, they are not manifested. The pure devotee, they prevent themselves from manifesting themselves. They stop themselves, because if they go in there, they won't be able to preach properly. So that's why they don't, although they manifest those systems, but they won't manifest them in public. So Srila Prabhupada manifested them a few times amongst devotees, but not in public comfort. But we should not imitate that. If we imitate, it will be just like how we call that, Sahajya type. So we should be careful not to do that. And it won't. It's not something that it comes on a mental platform. It naturally comes like that. So in the Nectar Devotion, these 8 symptoms of ecstatic love is described. First is like being stunned as one, perspiring, standing of the hairs on the body, faltering of the voice, as explained by Srila Prabhupada, trembling of the body, changing of bodily colors, shedding tears, and devastation. And what little knowledge I have about those, I will explain. Standing of the hairs of the body is one of the things that almost everybody can have, even in the beginning of our devotional service. What to speak of devotees, but non-devotees also exhibit these, but they exhibit in a minute way. I'm not talking about getting scared and having your hair stand on your body. That is not what I'm talking. But what I'm talking is, I've seen some people when they relate to certain events in their life where there was some divine intervention, their hairs stand on the body. These are a drop of that, one of the 8 symptoms of ecstatic love. That's one drop of that thought. So there is the reflections, bits of reflections of those symptoms that we can experience in our life, even among non-devotees, I'm saying. So what to speak of devotees? When they hear Krishna's name, when Krishna's pastime, hairs will stand on the body. We have devotees like that. Some people like to explain those things, just like to inspire other devotees. But usually we refrain to put ourselves in front. We don't want, when a devotee is preaching, we don't put ourselves at the center of attraction. We want to put Krishna or Srila Prabhupada or Gurudev at the center of attraction instead of us. So that is one way that we should be careful when we explain about those things. The example that I can give, which present out, I can talk about 2 instances. When I was in Mauritius once, there was Govind Maharaj. Govind Maharaj was in charge of the Bhuvaneshwar temple, and he translated the Bhagavatam, everything, also in Orissa language, and he was very dear to Srila Prabhupada. And when he visited there, I had a chance to serve him. I had a chance to serve him two or three times. The first time I had a chance to serve him was in Delhi, in Pajabagh Temple, when I was still a student. I got a chance to serve him there. And the second time was in Mauritius when he came to visit and give class. He was a very, very powerful preacher. And you'll see one thing that I remember always is that I'm going to share with all of you is when he chanted Hare Krishna mantra, the whole room where he was taking, I cleaned his room and I was preparing him to stay in that room. And after taking his bath, he would sit down and chant there. That room will be like the spiritual world. It will be effulgent. So much energy will come in that room when he was sitting and chanting. And his chanting of the Mahamantra was so deep and strong that once you hear that, you feel attracted like a magnet. And from his body, when you see him after taking bath and then he will sit down and chant, it's like just like we have effulgent, his body will light up when he would chant. That I personally witnessed. So that is like, it was very special for me to see that. That is one example I shared. And the second example I'm going to share is about my Guru Maharaj. He is always very devoted to Srila Prabhupada. And whenever he chants Srila Prabhupada's bhajans and tell the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada when he was serving Srila Prabhupada as a personal servant in Bombay and other places, he'll start, automatically tears will come automatically. So at times he tries to stop those tears. Sometimes he can't. So there are two types of tears. One is cold and one is warm. So usually when we are unhappy and then we're crying like that, the tears are warm. But the spiritual ecstatic tears, they are cold tears, refreshing tears. So these are two examples that I can explain about the external symptoms of those. And you will see their way of thinking also when they talk and when they behave is very dependent on Krishna. Everything is dependent on Krishna, not on the mind. They're not talking on the mental platform. They're always the instrument sign of Krishna. This is one of the things. But externally, since you're talking about the external, these are the two things that I can remember and tell you guys. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's Anil Prabhu, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you should read more from Nectar Devotion there, Srila Prabhupada explains. Even, there in the examples, there would be more about the associates of Krishna, but just like you mentioned, in this age, we have, if you're fortunate enough to associate whenever you go to Vrindavan for Parikrama or to Mayapur, we should try to get the association of those devotees. And being in the association, we get purified. Yeah.
Sure. So you mentioned that this is mentioned in the Nectar Devotion, right? So?
Yeah, the Nectar of Devotion 28. I think
okay.
28, where the 8 symptoms of existential is called existential ecstatic love. Becoming stunned, perspiring, standing of the hairs on the body, faltering of the voice, trembling of the body, changing of bodily colors, shedding of tears and devastation. I've seen that, changing of body of color, just like I was saying out Govind Maharaj, I saw that personally. So I could share that with you all. Any other question or comment? Hare Krishna. Any other comment or question on this topic? On the whole thing, maybe. There you go. Anyway, you can find also, since we are talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, chapter 9, 19, you can write it down, Anil Prabhu. These are the places where you can still find it in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 9, text 19. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains the Anubhava, the glory of the Lord, and is first appreciated by the devotee in ecstasy. And then there is a description given there, the devotee who is in ecstasy manifesting the symptoms of perspiring, trembling, weeping, bodily eruption, etc. And this Baba also, they exchange Yashoda binding the ropes to Krishna. And then you can find that also in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, third chapter, text 24, where the bhav stage is manifested with the 8 transcendental symptoms, mainly inertness, perspiration, standing of the hairs on the end, same thing, trembling, paleness of the body, tears, the eyes, and finally trance. But the main description is given by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of the Bhakti Rasa Samrasita. So that these are 2 places that I mentioned, and you'll find more other places. Chaitanya Charitamrita also, there should be some places. I'm more reading Bhagavatam. I should start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita more. Then there should be some places in Chaitanya Charitamrita about these ecstatic symptoms. In Adi Lila 788, I think there should be something there. And other places also. I think 89. Adi Lila 89 and 90. There is this specifically perspiration, trembling, and the same thing. There's more actually there. Check that.
Sure, thank you.
So dancing also there, when we dance. Yeah. I've seen there some devotee. There was I was in Chandigarh once. Went to this Bharat Yatra in Chandigarh and stuff. But I've been there before. So, but this when I went there like 5 years ago, there was one Prabhupada disciple, and he stays there from his body, American body. But he just dance. His service is dance. See, we dance long hours. See, you can dance in kirtan like maybe 1 hour, you get tired. But this person is dancing the whole day. He's dancing the whole day. It's impossible. This is not ordinary dancing. He's dancing the whole day. So, everybody, that's why we should pay our respect. We always to play safe is to remain always humble. Don't ever criticize anybody. When I used to go to Vrindavan, we'll go for 3-4 days and then go back, do the parikrama, and then go back to our station where we were preaching. So I always be in that mood of, okay, I myself have so many faults, why I should see the faults in others. So I'll always be careful not to commit this offense. I'll consider everybody like a pure devotee. So everybody else, I'll pay obeisances, I'll minimize my interaction with other people like that, and then be in Vrindavan and do what I have to do. Because we are so cautious of not committing an offense in Dham. That is so special those days. So that's the mood. We have to be always, if you consider yourself to be always in that mood of not committing offense, we'll be more humbled and we will get the benefit. And we are running out of time. I always mention all this to all of you guys. So we are running out of time, so better not to commit more of any offense that will prevent our bhakti to flourish. So, yes, any other question, comments are most welcome. There you go. Shanguni Mataji, she's here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very nectarian class, and you very nicely explained like the qualities of non-devotees, and like we are learning from last 3-4 days.
Oh, yeah, oh, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I wanted to touch that, make it clear. So I repeated them.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. It's always been a nectar in your classes, and we learn a lot today. So thank you very much. If no one has any questions, comments, then we can end.
So if they don't have any question or comments, I'll just read one more time about the symptoms. Since the Prabhu asked a question, I'll continue on that because we don't get the chance to do that. If you get a chance to read from Shri Bhajan Rahasya Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and in the Shashta Yama Sadhana, the bhajan during the evening, the bhava, transcendental emotion, is being explained. One chapter is dedicated to that. It's the 6th chapter. So there, I'll just read. The external symptoms of perfection are given in the Shikshashtakam. Nayanam galad ashrudharaya vadanam gadagada rudhaya gira pulake nichitam vapu kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati. My dear Lord, when will our eyes be beautified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs on my body stand erect in the transcendental happiness as I chant your holy name? Without love of Godhead, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as a servant and give me the salary of ecstatic love of God. Bhaktivedanta Thakur is saying. And the form of bhava is stated in Bhakti Rasa Sindhu. Premanastu pramavashtha bhava ite abhidyate tatavika swalpaha matrashu kapashruhu pulakadaya. The first stage of prema is known as bhava, where the 8 sattvic vikars, the bodily transformation, such as standing of the hairs on end, crying, slightly manifest. The characteristic of sthai bhava, permanent ecstasy, are described in the Bhakti Asana Sindhu as follows. Shantir avyartha kalavai tvam viraktiramana shudyata asha bhandaha samukkantaha namagane sada ruchi ashaktistat gunaya khyane pratistat pasatti sthale itai adayo anubhavashyur jatha bhavan kure janehe. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior. What are they? Tolerance, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment for glorifying the qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is, a temple or holy places like Vrindavan. These are called anubhava, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. So these are begin to fructify When we advance in bhakti in the beginning, these are the 9 symptoms. If love for Krishna in its seedling state has fructified in one's heart, one is not agitated by material things. Not a moment should be lost. Every moment should be utilized for Krishna or connected with Him. In the material field, people are interested in material enjoyment, mystic power, and sense gratification. However, these things do not appeal to the devotee at all. Although a pure devotee's standard is above all, he still considers himself to be in the lower stage of life. A fully surrendered devotee always hopes that Lord Krishna will be kind to him. This hope is very firm in him. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to attain the mercy of the Lord. Due to having great relish for the holy name, one is inclined to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra constantly. At this stage of bhava, a devotee has awakened the tendency to chant and describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He has attachment for this process. A devotee absorbed in ecstatic emotion for Krishna always has affection for residing in a place where Krishna's pastimes were performed. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction for Krishna. The various anubhavs which manifest when bhava is nourished are listed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as Nityam Vilutam Gitam Krushanam Tanamushtatanam Unkaraha Vrigjanam Swashaha Bhuma Lokarakshitaha Lakshashvaho Tatashtacha Gurnahika Dyapacha. Dancing, falling down, rolling on the ground, singing, crying very loud, bodily contortions, loud vibrations, yawning, deep breathing, disregard for others, frothing of saliva, mad, laughter, spitting, hiccups, and other symptoms are called anubhavas. The Ashta Satavik Vikaras are also given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The 8 symptoms that we talked today during the lecture were the Ashta Sattvika Vikaras, the 8 symptoms of bhava: stern, trembling, perspiring, standing of hairs on end, fading away color, weeping, choking, and devastation. That is technically known as the Ashta Sattvika Vikaras, the 8 symptoms of bhava that we talked. And there are other things. Please refer to, it's very nicely explained in Sri Bhajan Rahasya by Sri Bhagavad Thakur. Okay? If you guys don't have any questions, comments, we wish you all best luck. Try to be serious in the path of devotion, and those symptoms will be manifested. Never try to artificially bring those symptoms. It should be naturally manifested. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very, very wonderful class.
Thank you, no problem. Komodiki Mataji is not listening today?
Yeah, Mataji is there. Hare Krishna, Komodiki Mataji, are you there?
Yes, I'm Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, very nice.
We missed your comment. You should have say something.
Well, I can, when you describe about Prabhupada, so I can say about Prabhupada what I have heard, that when Prabhupada came to Baltimore temple, and when he saw Nitai Gaur Sundar, he had a darshan, so he was there. He saw, he had very nice darshan, and then when he paid obeisances, and when he got up, and there was a puddle of his ashru, on the ground, on the floor.
Wow.
This is what I have heard from the devotees who were there.
And then he said that all Gauranitai should follow the same pattern of our Baltimore temple prototypes.
Yeah, he said that these are the most beautiful Gauranitai deities.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very nice. Very nicely you have explained about symptoms, and it's just, I don't know how to say it, but it was very nice. very, very wonderful. Thank you.
We pray to Krishna that one day before we leave this world, we can get at least some of the symptoms.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe not, but I just don't want to stay away from the Devotees Association. And so that's all I'm praying for. I don't know about the ecstatic symptoms, but it is this much.
Yeah.
And
we always we absorbed by the help of Srimad Bhagavatam and absorption of the devotees and service to our spiritual master. This will naturally come because we are naturally devotees of Krishna. So it should come naturally.
By the mercy of the devotees, if possible. Otherwise, there is no way. Oh, somebody's very busy. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So I think we will end here. Vanchakal Patarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Param.